Hello and welcome to EWTN Vatican. My name is Andreas Stonehauser and I'm the Vatican Bureau Chief here in Rome. We want to present to you the latest news and the stories behind the scenes of the Holy See here in this eternal city, and you can follow all of those stories on our YouTube channel and the other social media channels. Please make sure to subscribe. Also subscribe to our email and you will receive a weekly update on everything that is going on here in Rome.
This week on VATICANO, we follow Pope Francis on his apostolic trip to Cyprus and Greece. Two young Christians from Cameroon have remained in the UN buffer zone in Nicosia, Cyprus since May. Learn how their faith is helping them to overcome difficulties. And visit the Vatican Nativity Scene that this year came from Peru. For this and more, VATICANO starts now. Pope Francis has finished his 35th apostolic trip to Cyprus and Greece, arriving at the Vatican on December the 6th, the feast of St. Nicholas. The Holy Father once again surprised everyone by arranging to bring a total of 50 migrants from Cyprus to Italy over the course of the next 2 months, by way of the Humanitarian Corridors Initiative organized by the Sant'Egidio community. A week ahead of the Mediterranean papal trip, EWTN Vatican Bureau correspondent Colin Flynn traveled to Cyprus and witnessed the complex situation at the border and the charitable work that the Catholic Church provides to those in need there.
I'm standing in front of what's known as the UN buffer zone in Cyprus, which divides the Turkish-controlled part of Cyprus in the north and the Republic of Cyprus in the south. This border runs right through the capital, Nicosia. Now, Cyprus has seen an enormous influx of immigrants over the past number of years. Cyprus now has the highest number of asylum seekers per capita in the European Union. This happens largely because it is geographically positioned as the European Union's island territory closest to the Middle East. The Church is a natural place for people to look for help. This is why Caritas and the United Nations charitable organizations have settled around the Catholic Church of the Holy Cross.
So we're inside St. Anthony Hall here, where we provide migrant services to a variety of vulnerable groups.
The executive manager of Caritas Cyprus, Elizabeth Cassinis, says that they help migrants register for social services, provide cultural mediation with employers and landlords, and help them to access the healthcare system.
If it starts to rain almost, you're gonna have to go inside. All right, he's gonna give you some paperwork to fill out, and then you guys can take it, okay? But if it rains, please go under the cover.
When you first started a number of years ago, up to today, how have the numbers changed, the amount of people coming every day?
Today, we would estimate that the numbers are above, can be 300 to 400 a day, but we can provide far less of a sort of quality service in a sense because there are so many, and we cannot do it inside, COVID restrictions being what they are. But the numbers are increasing.
Why did you come to Cyprus?
Because many problems for my country. I have a problem, personal problem.
I come for protection, to seek for international protection.
Why did you come here?
Well, I came here as a refugee, but I worked other side in occupied side, but they didn't pay me, and I had a problem up in Pakistan, so I've been threatening to my life. That's why I crossed through here.
Azarik, like many others, came from the other side of this wall, from Turkish-controlled northern Cyprus. Here on the other side, life appears to be continuing normally. But the border divides the island into two cultures, languages and religions. These mosques used to be Catholic churches, dating back to the time of the Crusades. Nevertheless, northern Cyprus has a vibrant Catholic community, led by Father George Kraj from the Church of the Holy Cross, located in the buffer zone.
We are having a really nice and this very vibrant congregation in the north. They are mostly students from Africa, young people who are studying in the north universities. They are a congregation that arrive about 500 faithful each Sunday. So we are going only from this Holy Cross Church to them every Sunday or for special occasions.
So for you, Father, it's no problem working on both sides. You can work freely the Catholic Church.
Yes, we don't have any restriction except COVID restrictions that was obliged us for some weeks and months, but was blocked celebration, congregation as well in the north.
How is the fabric of society here changing in Cyprus? We know that there are many immigrants coming in.
In the beginning, most from Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. Now we have a big number of Africans, different countries coming to Cyprus and making the way through Turkey and the north part of Cyprus. And this is also a little difficult to make a real understanding, because the authority, the leaders of north side, are not blocking. They allow them, they have the free access to pass the borders. And this from the government of Cyprus is continually complaining about this kind of facilitating the entering of migrants from the north.
Why do you think Pope Francis has chosen to visit Cyprus now?
They have one very easy answer. He is choosing peripheries. And Cyprus is in the periphery of Europe, in the small country, small Christian Catholic communities.
Another reason for Pope Francis's visit to Cyprus is to extend the hand of friendship to the Cypriot Orthodox community and fully implement the motto of his trip, comforting each other in faith.
The Holy Father's 5-day apostolic voyage to Greece and Cyprus held a central message of peace and attention to migration. Pope Francis began his 2 days in Cyprus with a visit to the Maronite Cathedral of Our Lady of Grace in Nicosia to speak to clergy, religious, and ecclesial movements.
Condivido la mia gioia di visitare questa terra camminando come pellegrino sulle orme del grande apostolo Barnaba.
There he reflected on the life of Saint Barnabas, urging the faithful to follow in the saint's example of patience and fraternity in their mission in the Church. According to the Christian tradition, Saint Barnabas was martyred on Cyprus. The Holy Father highlighted the nation's particular vocation, speaking to Cypriot political authorities.
Siete una porta aperta, un porto che congiunge.
He said that Cyprus is a bridge where East meets West in the mission of spreading the gospel. During the second day of the trip, Pope Francis met with His Beatitude Chrysostomus II, head of the Orthodox Church of Cyprus,
Padre nostro, sei nei cieli.
and led an ecumenical prayer with migrants, denouncing the attitude of indifference towards them.
Sia fatta la tua volontà.
As the Holy Father traveled to Greece for 3 days, this message of attention to migrants continued. The Holy Father visited for the second time the Greek island of Lesbos, coming back after 5 years.
Sento il bisogno di rinnovare la richiesta di perdono.
Meeting with the Orthodox primate of all Greece, His Beatitude Hieronymus II, Pope Francis followed the example of Pope St. John Paul II in asking the Orthodox for forgiveness for mistakes made by the Catholic Church towards the Orthodox. On his last day in Greece, the Holy Father met with young people from the St. Dionysius School of the Ursuline Sisters, speaking to them about the need for wonder and amazement in their lives.
Ausmanzen. E il maravigliarsi e lo stupore.
As they are the beginning of our Catholic faith, he also encouraged them to truly know themselves as having value and being loved by God. Pope Francis' journey sent a resounding message to the world, one of love towards one's neighbor, and a call to open our eyes to the suffering of our brothers and sisters displaced from their homes. After the break, we traveled to the buffer zone in Cyprus to meet Gracie and Daniel, two Christians from Cameroon seeking asylum.
My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you far away from me?
We don't have freedom of movement. You don't get to do things that you wish to do. So we miss all those moments. You're just stuck here. No front, no back. It's not easy.
Grace and Daniel fled Cameroon this May after schools were shut down due to the Anglophone crisis. They met after paying the same smuggler to help them cross into Cyprus, where they hoped to find asylum in the European Union. The smuggler showed them an illegal way to cross the border by jumping over the fence.
I just had to close my eyes and God, please take control. I just fell. That was how I jumped. Then the sumo shot.
Yeah, I was afraid. I was scared.
The UN peacekeeping soldiers caught them quickly and brought them over to the border forces.
He had some bruises too. It was a terrible moment.
But neither the north nor south side wanted to accept them. And this is how they remain in no man's land, living in a tent for over 6 months.
Yeah, now it's cold.
It's cool.
Very cold. And that's where we take a shower. Like, you can see it's closed for now. It's closed. This is the buffet zone. They call it buffet zone. So here, it's meant just for the UN workers. Yeah, and maybe thanks to the restaurant, people can come. Yeah. So this is where we are stuck. We are not, like, we can't move further. We cannot. We just walk around the premises. That's all.
Daniel is 20 and Grace is 24. Both hope to continue their university studies once they receive asylum in Europe. In the meantime, they entrust their situation to God.
Of course, we believe in God. So at least that's what have been keeping us strong, because like our faith, we believe that they said in any circumstances that you find yourself, never give up in life.
Yeah.
So that saying has been keeping us strong, and I believe too. Believe God can do something.
It has not been easy. It has not been easy.
Person that can help us, we are okay with it. Like, we really need help. Stuck in here for 6 months, it's not 6 days, it's not 6 weeks. It's not easy.
On December the 3rd, the Vatican confirmed that approximately 50 migrants will be transferred from Cyprus to Italy, thanks to Pope Francis' mediation, Vatican financial support, and the Rome-based Sant'Egidio community. Daniel and Grace are among the first 12 migrants who will arrive to Italy before Christmas.
So this is your laundry, you keep it to dry.
The Christmas tree is already up on St. Peter's Square. But Advent season also has a special feast day, the Immaculate Conception, 8th of December. This day also marks the feast day of an institution that is not so well known here in the Vatican. It's the Campo Santo Teutonico. We're here at the Campo Santo Teutonico, right next to St. Peter's Basilica. With me is Paul Bade. Paul, why is this place so important?
This place is so important because the Roman Church started here, because, you know, here, right outside the door, was the center of the Circus of Nero, where Peter has been crucified, the first Christians had been martyred here. So here, the Roman Church started right here.
We want to welcome the whole world here. Groups from the Americas or other continents can request to celebrate Mass here, because it is a place of true spirituality.
This place here is very closely related to Germany, to the German language. Why is that?
The institution is indeed also a place of German culture, certainly since the 1500s. We are historically connected to the old Holy Roman Empire of the German nation. It does not exist anymore, but since this time, we belong to the German cultural space and represent German culture here in Rome.
We're standing here amidst of tombstones. Who is being buried here, and are there still being people buried today?
It is indeed extraordinary that burials are still taking place here in the Vatican. The Holy Father comes here every year. Every Pope came here on All Saints or All Souls Day. The funerals are today reserved to the Archon fraternity. However, there are some exceptions. Some pilgrims or even homeless people have been recently granted a tomb.
Now we're gonna go inside. This church is consecrated to Mary. And also the feast day of this place here is the 8th of December.
The day of the Immaculate Conception on the 8th of December was chosen by the Archon Fraternity, which is the main annual feast day. On that day, also new members are welcomed into the Arch Fraternity.
So as a pilgrim to Rome, are you just allowed to come in here past the Swiss guard?
You tell the Swiss guard, I'm going to see the Campo Santo, then they'll let you in.
For pilgrims, it's a place to come and pray and also see the beauty of this place.
When we return, we flash forward to the Christmas season and learn about some of the Vatican's Christmas traditions, from the Peruvian Nativity Scene to the lighting of the Christmas tree. We're 1 week into Advent and more lights are found strung across the streets of Rome. And the Christmas trees are popping up. EWTN Vatican's Rachel Lance gives us a sneak peek at the Christmas decorations at the Vatican.
Christmas trees in Rome are lit on December 8th, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, and for most Italians, that is the beginning of the Christmas season. The Vatican, however, lights their Christmas tree on December 10th, 2 days later, and it's a tradition that most Roman families don't miss. Let's take a sneak peek of the preparations.
The Vatican's Christmas tree lighting and nativity scene reveal is a joyous occasion for the city of Rome, a tradition that Pope St. John Paul II started in 1982. Each year, the tree and nativity come from different places. And this year, the 28-meter red fir tree, that's almost 100 feet tall, comes from the Dolomite mountain range in the north of Italy, along with typical handmade wooden ornaments. Right below the tree is a nativity scene made by 5 Peruvian artists from the small town of Chopa, nestled in the Andes Mountains over 12,000 feet high. Across St. Peter's Square, there is another Roman tradition, Cento Presepi, an exhibit of 100 nativity scenes, all handmade from different materials. Like this one made out of chocolate, bringing the sweetness of Christmas through all the senses.
This is a unique block of chocolate that comes directly from the Trappist chocolate factory in Rome. The recipe is the original one of the Trappist monks, which has been handed down to obtain a chocolate of the highest quality and Italian excellence. You can smell something wonderful that overwhelms every person and every visitor. It has the smells, tastes, and looks of chocolate. And above all, the joy that comes from this welcoming expression of the child who floods the whole world with his light. And the sheep represent us, who have slowly arrived to the light of love and are called to be expressions of joy.
The Vatican's Pontifical Council for the New Evangelization organizes the exhibit every year. And the president of the council describes the Nativity as the beating heart of the faith.
Every year, the Nativity recalls something important, because the crib essentially recalls when we were children and brings us back to that simplicity, to that goodness that is typical of children. We must, in front of the Nativity, go back to ourselves, go back to the fundamental points of our life, to those that never fade away. And from this point of view then, even an exhibit like this one, of the 100 cribs, can only be a positive provocation because we return to being ourselves with the simplicity and charm that every man and every woman possesses.
Con la semplicità e con il fascino che ogni uomo e ogni donna possiede.
The nativity scenes at the Vatican will be on display until January 9th, just after the Epiphany. This gives us nearly a month to admire and remember one of the greatest gifts of humanity, when the Word became flesh. Have a happy Advent and a Merry Christmas to you all.